Why your vote is important, next on Black Nouveau. Good evening and welcome to this edition of Black Nouveau. I'm Joanne Williams. This week we'll examine the importance of marriage for the Black community. We'll visit a fishing clinic at Washington Park. But we begin with the upcoming election. This is a presidential election year, so there are choices on the federal level.
54% of America's workers work in businesses that are taxed not at the corporate tax rate, but at the individual tax rate. And if we lower that rate, they will be able to hire more people. For me, this is about jobs.
Right.
This is about
That's
getting jobs for the American people.
Yeah. Do you challenge what the governor just said about his own plan?
Well, for 18 months, he's been running on this tax plan. And now, 5 weeks before the election, he's saying that his big, bold idea is never mind.
As well as the local level.
We need to make sure that Medicare and Social Security remain bedrock foundations. Social Security is not contributing to our debt. We should leave it alone and make the appropriate changes to keep its solvency for years and generations to come.
Medicare doesn't start going broke until 2036. We got some time to fix it. Medicare, on the other hand, is going to go bankrupt by the year 2022.
Joining us now is Anita Johnson from Citizen Action Wisconsin. She's been busy telling people how to get registered so that they can vote in the presidential election, which is coming up in November. It seems to be getting more and more complicated to register to vote. How does one do it? If somebody's never voted before, how do you register?
There are many ways that you can register to vote. A lot of people have taken the test at the Election Commission to become deputy registers to vote. And I can stop you on the street and say to you, are you a registered voter? If you say no, I can register you on the street. You can fill out the form, and then I can take it to the Election Commission. The Election Commission, in turn, will put you into the computer, and then they will send you a card telling you where you can go to register to vote.
Now, what if I don't get stopped on the street by you or somebody else asking me if I want to register? What if I say, well, I'm going to wait until Election Day and register? Can I still do that?
We still have same-day voting registration. You can register at the polls. But when you register at the polls, there are things that you have to bring with you to prove your residency. You first of all have to live in your residence for 28 days so you can register at the polling site where you want to vote. If you have lived there less than 28 days, you go back to your old polling site to vote. However, if you're registering at the polls, you have to have proof of residence. And you can bring in a telephone bill, a cable bill, an electric bill to prove that you do indeed live at this address. You can also use your driver's license or state ID to prove that you live at that residence, because now, you know, they're sent out of the state to be processed and then they come back to you. However, when you go to the DMV and get your license, they give you a receipt with your picture on it and your address.
And that still can be used to register?
That can be used as proof of residence because you do not need an ID to vote.
Now, what if somebody has a post office box? Can they use that as their address?
That is not acceptable. A P.O. box address is not acceptable. It has to be an address, 2841 North 16th Street, Milwaukee. It cannot be a post office address.
Can you register? We're not to the election yet, but can I register? Can I go to my polling place now and register, or do I have to go someplace else?
You can go to the library and register to vote. You can go to the Election Commission and register to vote. When you go to those places, they usually ask you for proof of residence, but if you get somebody like me, a deputy register, who stops you and asks you if you're a registered voter, you don't have to prove anything. You just fill out that form and I turn it in.
It used to be that somebody could vouch for you too. You could go to register to vote at the polling place and go with somebody who knows you and says...
There is no more collaboration for proof of residency. The laws have changed that. And There used to be that you have to be 10 days in your residency, but now it's changed to 28 days. There's no more collaboration. There's no more straight party ticket voting. So there are laws that have been changed with Act 23.
I'm sure a lot of people wonder about voter ID. Do you have to produce a picture ID to register to vote?
I beg the public, do not bring an ID to vote with. You do not need an ID to vote with. March 6th, I believe it was, Judge Flanagan talked about the injunction. The injunction is still in effect. You do not need an ID to vote. You don't need an ID to register to vote. You just need your driver's license number off that ID.
Now, does that mean a photo ID or just an ID with your name on it?
You don't need a photo ID.
To vote?
To vote. You need nothing to vote. You come in and the poll worker will ask you for your name and your address. They will look for your name and address. Then they will ask you to sign the poll book. You sign the poll book, then you get your ballot to vote.
Do you need a photo ID to register to vote?
You do not need a photo ID to register to vote. You need proof of residence. And that photo ID might have your proof of residence.
Okay, it seems to get more and more complicated, but I think you've cleared up some of it for us. The bottom line is vote, no matter what.
The bottom line is this is such an important election. I implore everybody needs to vote. Your vote is your voice.
All right, thank you very much. Anita Johnson from Citizen Action talking about voting and registering to vote, and we hope everybody does register and lets their voice be heard. Thank you. Since 1960, the national percentage of married adults has declined from 72% to 51%. In the African American community, the rates are even lower. 9 years ago, Nisa Muhammad started Black Marriage Day in an effort to curb the decline of black marriages. Liddy Collins has more.
A celebration of love and marriage. These people renewed their marriage vows along with other couples throughout the city and the nation. National Black Marriage Day started 9 years ago to stem the downturn of marriage in the black community. This is a unique prescription to help the community celebrate marriage and look at the positive side of it. Couples married 1 year or 50 years were celebrated.
Black Marriage Day is an opportunity for people to celebrate marriage in the black community. Usually when you hear about marriage in our community, somebody done me wrong, we're breaking up, we have low marriage rates. So this is an opportunity to take a negative situation, flip it around and show the positive side of marriage in the black community.
As the Holy Spirit empowers you, do you recommit yourself to love Him in this way? Your love is more mature and refined than it was. The challenges have been real, but God has been with you.
Very inspiring to see couples come together to recommit themselves to each other. I thought it was made a powerful statement, and also for those who are watching, I thought was had some good mentors to look at to say, if they did it, I can do it too.
Black Marriage Day is so important for couples to come together to reunite and to restate their commitment to each other. In our community, you know, marriage to some degree is at an all-time low, and so for people to reinstitute that, especially within the framework of the church, becomes a very important catalyst for moving forward.
We were given ingredients to make a marriage last.
We put God first, and we love each other, and communication.
I say trust, commitment, courage, and the desire just to hold on to each other.
I agree with that, and a lot of faith and patience.
Honestly, just be truthful, you know, and let them know, you know, if there's a problem or something, don't hold it to yourself. You got another mate there that you can get suggestions from. You know, don't try to take it all on yourself. You know, it takes two to tango, like they always say. So you get them problems, you know, work them out, and don't never go to bed mad at one another.
A lot of people want to have a marriage, but they don't have the agape love, which means I'm going to love you in spite of, not because you treated me well, but in spite of the fact that you didn't pick up your socks last night. I'm still going to love you.
As well as not only is it ordained, but a lot of generations now like to play house. They want all the benefits that a marriage has, but without the commitment. If you can have papers on everything else, you can sign papers on anything else you want, why not go and do it right and have papers on the one you love? And if you really love her, or if you really love him, make the full commitment, because the commitment is for life.
Healthy marriages have healthy children, which instead have healthy communities.
There are economic benefits to marriage. Nisa Muhammad said statistics and research state that black married men make more money.
Get more bonuses. They're involved in less risky behavior. They don't take 4-day weekends when they get paid. They get paid on Friday. They still have money on Monday.
With all of you witnessing these promises, do all in your power to uphold these persons in their marriage. If so, say, we will. We will.
Cultural cues that used to guide people to marriage, like music and family, are absent today.
I was speaking at Morehouse College, and I asked the young men there to name me a song where a black man is saying, I love you. Name me any song, one or two, where a black man is saying, I love you. They started scratching and looking around, and they could not name one song.
Fred and Tiffany Royal said their ingredient for a lasting marriage is trust.
They're learning to grow with each other, taking the good and the bad. She's been more of an anchor on doing that than I have, and we're just starting to grow more as a couple now.
I'm just so honored to be able to do it, especially given that we have people who've been married a year, and then some who've been married 35 years, even 40 years. We had two couples who had been married 40 years. And it's not just a ceremony, but to have gone through the workshops and to have worked on marriage to strengthen it, because it means if those generations are strong, they can teach generations that are coming along the importance of marriage. I've been married now for 25 years, January 17th, 25 years. The thing that it takes to, I believe, for marriage is commitment. It's the commitment to say we're going to daily and constantly work on our relationship to refresh it. My wife and I, since December, have been dating again, if you will, and just keeping things fresh.
It would be the marriage matters. It's more than just a piece of paper, and that in communities where there are strong marriages, better schools, lower crime, higher property values. And so marriage makes a difference, and there are unique benefits to marriage that cannot be duplicated in any other relationship. You don't find them living with a woman, you don't find them shacking up, you don't find them with a boyfriend, you don't find them if you're divorced or widowed. Marriage has unique benefits that can only be found when a couple goes before God in their community and says, I do.
We're joined now by Angela Robbins, Executive Director of Compel, which sponsors the local Black Marriage Day celebration, and Deborah Fields, who's the facilitator of the marriage workshops. What's a marriage workshop?
A marriage workshop is where we bring couples together to go through some techniques, some skills development to help improve their relationship.
So this assumes that they have problems in their relationship?
No, it assumes that they want more. They don't necessarily have to have problems, but they're looking for something more. They want something different. Sometimes they just want to spice things up.
Wait a minute, you may be getting into a different category that we might not want to discuss here. Why did you, Angela, why did you think that talking about marriage and having organizations dealing with marriage, particularly in the African American community, was important?
It's very important. Our mission is to strengthen the family, and we feel like the marriage is the key to actually bringing the entire family together. So it's a component that is missing somewhat in the African American community. Our statistics are very, very low to what it used to be from years past. So we wanted to bring that idea and let the community know that there are couples out there who still believe marriage does work.
Okay. What keeps a couple together? What's the secret? Is there just one secret?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. There are several different things, and people are unique, but there are skills and tools that people can use in their own relationships to improve communication, to improve or enhance any part of their relationship they want to look at. And it's about giving them these tools and skills for them to be able to use in improving their own relationships.
I recently read some statistics that the subject that causes the most argument in relationships in marriage is money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Why? I mean, look at what the economy is a wreck. So we actually know that has affected many relationships, regardless if you've never even had an argument before. It's pretty much sure you'll have one today with our economy being so difficult, and it's just really hard for families to try to make ends meet. It is really affecting all of our families. We're all just really tightening up close, and then we have to make some decisions that maybe we didn't used to have to make, 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. So we've got to know how to be able to work together and decide and make decisions for the family, for the betterment of the family, so that we can still proceed and do some things, find some free things that take place now than maybe we used to go out to dinner every other night or at least once a week. Maybe now we only go out once a month. So that's hard adjusting for some of us.
I can also see where talking about going out to dinner, some domestic issues would come up, like who's going to do the cooking?
Absolutely.
Who's going to do the cleaning?
You're right.
Who's in charge of taking out the garbage?
And
Are those issues?
That's one of the things that we look at in terms of when a couple get together, what do they bring in terms of what have they learned growing up? And unfortunately in our community, we've not been taught for the most part, how to handle money. If we have enough money and we can do the things we want, it's all good. But when there's not enough money, how do you deal with that? And then how do you deal with someone whose attitude and values about money are different than yours? One partner may be one who, we've got the money, let's spend it, I don't see a problem. And the other partner is save, save, save. So how do you bring those two together so that, they can both be on the same page about our financial situation?
But aren't people supposed to understand what the other person's point of view is before they get married?
It would be nice.
Perfect, girl.
Because it doesn't work like that.
It just doesn't work that way. No. Absolutely.
And the thing is that people come together and we like what we see and we want to be together. And then once they get together, there's all these hidden issues, we call them, that start to surface in a relationship. And that has to do with our values, our beliefs, and the things that we've grown up with. Exactly. And so when you bring two people together who have different ideas, different values and beliefs, but they are in love with each other, they want to figure out, how do we make it work? We're coming from two different attitudes and values and beliefs. How do we bring those things together, compromise, so that in this relationship it's a win-win?
So in the end, is it worth it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely so. Married 39 years to the same man.
And you?
38 years to the same man.
Well, to a different man.
Two different men.
Okay. And, thank you both for coming. I am envious and admire both of you for your longevity and for your words of wisdom. Thanks for coming on Black Nouveau.
It's our pleasure.
Indeed.
Every year, E.B. Garner, a retired county parks worker and master angler, gets out his load of fishing poles and holds a clinic for kids at Washington Park. This year, he marked a milestone, and we were there.
But I just like working with kids and see kids that catch one for the first time and they get to shaking and trembling and just seeing, I'm keeping 300 kids out of trouble in one day.
Fishing serves many purposes, sometimes catching your dinner.
No, I want to have the fish. I want to take it home.
Well, hold it tight, real tight, real tight.
I'm going to let it go.
No.
You got to put him over here. Put him in the bucket. You got to put him in the bucket.
I won't have him. I want to take him home.
You want to take him home?
Sometimes not.
Bucket boy, that. Catch him next year. You might be able to.
What's his name? Fishing gets you outdoors, enjoying nature.
Just grab him.
I'm scared when he moves. That's the thing I'm scared of.
Touch him again.
And as in the case of E.B. Garner's Fishing Club, a chance for grown-ups and kids to share an experience like no other. Michael Bryant brought his 8-year-old son Christopher to Washington Park in Milwaukee for the fishing lessons.
So why'd you bring Chris out here?
To have some fun, have some togetherness, and enjoy fishing.
Has he ever fished before?
No.
Did he know what he was going to do when you brought him out today?
Yeah, he knew. He'd been asking for it for a while.
So we followed father and son as they both learned how to fish.
Yeah.
After 15 years of giving these lessons, E.B. Garner has it down to a system.
But I made a station because at first they need to know how to cast so they don't get tangled up.
Push the button. Got it? Okay, now when we throw it, we're going to let go of the button. Ready? See there? What do you think?
So what's the secret to a good cast?
It's all in the wrist, you know. And like I said, we have a technique that we use for our club. It's the overhand cast, and it's from like the hands on the clock from 10 to 2.
Woo, that was good. Ooh, wait. Went over his line. Don't move.
And then they need to know how to tie a little knot in case they break the line. They won't be worrying me.
Put your hands, so you got to do what you got to do. Look like Daddy's trying to show you. Twist it. Get in through this hole. That hole, right? Watch your finger. Put it in through that hole. Now pull that line. Now pull tight. Now that's your knot.
Thank you.
There you go. Y'all have fun now. All right.
And then you learn how to put the bait on the hook so you don't end up feeding the fish all the time.
So there you go. Did you see that how I did that? And that's all you need.
And then you got to learn how to take the fish off the hook so you don't get finned in a certain way.
Remember how to carefully carry your pole.
And then I teach water safety. You fall in the water, I throw it in the water. If you don't grab that, you're gonna. You know what that means?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you know how to swim? You know how to swim? So if I throw you in the water, you can swim to the other side?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe, okay. But if you don't, then what? You drown, right?
Yes.
Okay, I suggest you go to the boys club, YMCA, county parks, and learn how to swim, okay? If somebody fall in the water, don't go in the water behind them. Please don't. Put your hand like this and holler, help, help, okay? Let me see you do that.
Help, help.
You gotta holler louder than that.
Help, help.
There you go. Somebody will come and help you, because if I'm drowning, he come to get me and I grab him like this, what happens? We both go drown, because I'm not gonna let him go, okay? Okay? And a lot of times just try standing up, and a lot of times it'll be shadow enough, you can stand up and walk out, okay? Okay? Yes, sir. Okay, okay.
E.B. does this year after year because he wants to share his passion with kids who love the attention. He receives some donations from the Brewers, the Urban League, UWM, and Northwest Funeral Home, and it's all free for the kids. But mostly, the costs come out of his pocket.
I started out 15 years ago with 5 kids out of my grandkids, 1 kid out of the neighborhood, and each kid brought a kid, so it's 12 kids. We went from 12 to 20 to 40 to 80, and last year we had over 350 kids over here in the park. We'll have, by the time the day is over, we'll have at least 300 kids over here. You know, the weather holds on. Kids come up year after year and after year, and I teach them how to fish, and I went out and bought 300 poles because I hate to see a kid say, I ain't got no pole, and he can't fish, you know what I mean? you do that to kids. You can save just one kid, but you look at the kids. See, I've been doing it 15 years. I haven't had one fight, one pushing, or one shoving. Kids just sit there with their mouth open and want to learn.
Look at this.
That's a nice perch.
What is it?
He said a fish.
Christopher, tell me what it is.
I don't know what kind it is, but it's a fish that moves a lot.
Is that the first time you've seen a fish on a hook like that?
Yes.
What do you think of it? Did you touch it?
No.
Here, go ahead. Here, let me hold your pole. Now grab the fish. Grab it. Grab it. Well, you gotta grab it and hold on to it. Hold him tight. Hold him tight. What?
Let me show you. Take the fish. I take a towel. You hold him like this. Get you a pair of needle nose. See how that works? Bring it back just the opposite way you put him in. What you gonna do with it? You gonna put him in your pocket?
No.
Oh yeah? I thought you could put him in your pocket. Okay. Okay.
Why'd you want to bring your son out?
Just Saturday's a good day to be together, that's all. Have fun fishing.
And that's our program for this week. For Black Nouveau, I'm Joanne Williams. Thanks for watching, and good night.